Hi, everybody. Ian Bremmer here, and gotten so many inbound questions about the Epstein files, the millions of documents, heavily redacted, so painful to read any of it and think about. It does make me kind of glad that we didn't have email in the days of Mao and Stalin and Hitler, because just getting this close to the psyche of someone who has done the profoundly dehumanizing things that Epstein has, the pedophilia, the sex trafficking, the rape, the abuse, the manipulation of all sorts of people in service of those things, and his own personal enrichment. It makes you feel like less of a human, even trying to read through some of this stuff. How do you share humanity with a person like that? I have no idea if he killed himself. I certainly can imagine lots of reasons why he might have wanted to. And it's painful even to say that about a fellow human. So there's that. But there's also just so much pain in realizing how many people that are at the top of our society, whether it's Democrats or Republicans, whether it's billionaires and CEOs, I mean, people that have been amassed extraordinary power and have been lionized by the media and by the public. And you find out that the behaviors that they've engaged in, when they full well should have known better, but thought that they had impunity, they could act and do anything, and they would be able to get away with it. And in many ways, they still have. Even today, so many of these leaders are getting away with it. They are admitting to only the absolute minimum necessary, and frequently not even that when the facts are in front of our faces. It's fake news. It's relying on algorithms and on polarization to only blame the people that are on the side that you are not on. When we should all be saying that all of this behavior is abhorrent, and all of the people that have engaged in it should face criminal charges. And here, I agree completely with Elon Musk in saying, I know there's only one Elon that we talk about, that it's kind of astonishing that no one has faced charges here. And he said that when he broke from Trump, and he's saying that now that he's back with Trump. But it is a consistent point here, and it is because there is a two-tier justice system in the United States. And the funny thing is, that is why Trump became president in the first place, because so many Americans believed that justice did not apply to people that had access to money and power in the United States. And they fundamentally didn't accept that. It's why people have been so angry about Epstein. That's why Trump polls so poorly on it. I suspect it's a big part of why he wanted the issue to go away, not just because his name is in it a lot, and we'll probably never find out the extent of what that really means, but also because the first time he ran on draining the swamp. He ran on ending the two-tier justice system. And of course, that's the one thing that he absolutely hasn't done. He promised he was going to end the forever wars, and he hasn't sent people boots on the ground all over the place. He promised he was going to focus more on manufacturing in the US, and he's put tariffs on a bunch of countries and forcing them to invest hundreds of billions of dollars in the US. He promised he'd shut the borders, and he's done a pretty significant job in shutting the borders and trying to get illegal immigrants out of the country. Whether you like or not any of those things, the fact is he said he was going to do it. He has worked on doing those things. He said he was going to drain the swamp. He said he was going to end this two-tier system of justice. And he has not only not done that, but he's made it worse. And we see that with the extraordinary kleptocracy, the corruption, the self-enrichment in dealing. And we see it with the fact that the White House is saying there's not going to be any further indictments that come on the basis of all of these documents. And that is astonishing to anybody who believed that the American system was going to be made more fair by President Trump, that actually overly powerful people that could buy their own justice would somehow no longer feel that way. That is gone. That is the absolute opposite of what is happening right now. And that, of course, is what happens in other countries, in other advanced industrial democracies. We see that in the UK, Peter Mandelson, who lied about the duration of his connections with Epstein, and when they stopped, he was forced to resign as ambassador to the United States, a job he liked quite a bit. What has happened to the Americans in positions of power, some of whom are in the Trump administration, some of whom are in big corporate positions, banking positions, legal positions? The answer is so far nothing has happened, and that is astonishing. As Ghislaine Maxwell sits in a minimum security prison and knows surely all of these things, but is not in any way inclined to share. So that's where we are. I think part of the reason why Greenland and taking Greenland ultimately polls as badly for Trump as the Epstein files is because Americans, as politically divided as they are, as we are, Americans still have a basic sense of fairness. And the idea that the United States, for no reason, was just going to take someone else's land is not something that most Americans think is okay. They understand that that is unjust. And they understand that covering up for sexual crimes against young girls over years and years is unjust. And the people, the rich and powerful people that are getting away with it to this day, is something that disgusts most Americans, not just a few, not just a slight majority, pretty much everybody. And this is a big loser issue for a president that initially came to power as an outsider who was going to supposedly stop those sorts of behaviors from happening. Bill Clinton is a part of that system. Donald Trump is a part of that system too. And we are all worse off for it. I hope I never have to talk about this issue again. But if I do, you're not going to see me wavering very much in how I'm thinking about it. That's it for me. I'll talk to you all real soon.